Marley was still undoubtedly and undeniably dead. Once a week, his former business partner, Ebenezer Scrooge, visited his graveside to confirm that he remained so, and also, if he was honest with himself, to talk. Time was he would have thought it foolish to sit at a deceased man's graveside and chit-chat as if Marley could hear. The man was dead as a doornail, after all. Even deader, since doornails had never even lived. But that was before last Christmas Eve, before the terrible visitations which had changed the way he saw the world forever. Scrooge shivered, pulling his weathered greatcoat more tightly around him as he picked his way through the frozen churchyard. It was an uncommonly cold day, even for the middle of December. The feeble half-light of the sun had done nothing to melt the frost which lingered on the tombstones, sprinkled like sugar on the fat cheeks of each carved cherub. However, Scrooge had never been susceptible to the cold. It was not the temperature which made his skin chill. A churchyard is a place for ghosts, and Scrooge never wanted to see another spirit in his life, and so he kept his gaze fixed on the uneven ground before him and continued. Marley had been buried with minimal pomp. Of course he had, because his business partner had been the one to bury him. Scrooge had chosen a burial plot in the cheapest, meanest corner of the churchyard. Not for him the grand statuary which was becoming the fashion. No weeping angel or veiled urn to signify the passing of such a solid man of business as Mr. Marley. No. His gravestone was the smallest and plainest Scrooge could get away with while remaining respectable. Why waste money when it benefits no one living? Which meant that as he picked his way carefully across the rough, weed-tangled ground, nearly tripping over the tumbled tombstones, he had only himself to blame. He rested for a moment, leaning on Marley's grave, his breath puffing steam into the cold air, while he recovered and noticed to his consternation that there was another mourner hunched in the tangled weeds nearby. The figure of a woman, kneeling on the patchy frosted ground, grey skirts billowed out around her. There was something familiar about her shabby attire, the faded, worn quality of the skirt. There was a grubby, reddish, heart-shaped stain on the sleeve, and Scrooge was sure that he had seen it before, but could not recall when. He had no intention of asking the woman herself. She was slumped forward, arms outstretched as if prostrating herself on the grave of her loved one. Scrooge turned away. The sight of someone else's grief disturbed him, making him feel that his own deep-buried and less intense ache for Marley and all the others he had lost was somehow not good enough. In the past he would have masked his own unease by scoffing at the woman's mawkishness, but he knew better now. He was a changed man. He truly was. "Good morning, old friend," Scrooge spoke softly. He might be a changed man, but